What is PTSD? Post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD, causes sufferers of a traumatic experience to constantly remember and re-experience the fear of harm or death they felt during the inciting incident or incidents. PTSD is commonly associated with trauma experienced by soldiers deployed in armed conflict. Understanding PTSD. According to current estimates by the National Center for PTSD, 11% of veterans of the conflict in Afghanistan and 20% of veterans of the Iraq War suffer from PTSD. PTSD in legal defense. In the legal world, PTSD most often comes up as part of a defense against criminal charges and is commonly used as part of a defense strategy against insanity, diminished capacity, or as a mitigating factor during sentencing. Expert witnesses in PTSD. Research has consistently shown that a PTSD diagnosis can make a significant difference in the outcome of a trial. This is especially true in the case of veterans suffering from PTSD. Studies have shown that juries are more lenient on veterans whom they believe to be suffering from PTSD, often issuing lighter sentences. How PTSD does not work as part of a legal defense. In order for a diagnosis of PTSD to have a beneficial effect on a legal defense strategy, the defense team must logically connect the PTSD diagnosis and its effect with the alleged criminal act, rather than as a side effect of self-inflicted trauma. The changing definition of PTSD. While the broad definition of PTSD has remained consistent since the 1970s, the most recent publication of the DSM-5, or the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, made some changes to the guidelines on how PTSD is diagnosed, which has caused some controversy. PTSD as defined in DSM-5. One of the most significant changes is the splitting of the avoidance or numbing cluster into two categories that include avoidance and persistent negative changes in cognition and mood. Additionally, the cluster referring to changes in arousal and reactivity has been broadened to include additional symptoms such as angry outbursts, irritability, and self-destructive or reckless behavior. The DSM-5 controversy. Criminal prosecutors in particular have been skeptical of the changes, claiming that it is now easier than ever for expert witness testimony to establish PTSD, which will lead to an increase in the number of defendants who use it as part of their criminal defense. While the current application of PTSD in criminal defenses may be controversial, PTSD is widely accepted as a legitimate medical condition and will continue to be used as part of legal defenses. About FPA Med. Forensic Psychiatric Associates Medical Corporation, or FPA Med, is a group of psychiatric and psychological experts who provide attorneys, prosecutors, and civil plaintiffs with reports, consultations, and expert testimony on matters of mental health and the law. For more information, call 415-388-8040 or visit www.fpamed.com.